Hello and welcome to Design or Design. My name is Maria and today we're going to be talking about the bag trends. Bag trends. People say that I say bag weirdly, so it's a purse trend report, I guess. We are in a different setting, as you can see. I've moved to my bedroom. All the mess is down here, not up here, which is great. If you're here for the first time, hello, my name is Maria. I am a fan of fashion and I just love to research about fashion. I love to talk about it and it helps me to kind of understand what's going on in fashion industry, that rather than just watch the runways and like have no idea what's happening. So what I do is I assemble these trend report videos regarding a certain topic and I just talk about it. Thank you for the returning viewers. Some people say that they don't like to hear me talking, so you can just mute me. It's so easy and just watch. I present you so much visual examples that I don't think there is a channel on YouTube that does the same. So you go ahead. So how do I get to these trends? Basically, I watch a ton of the runway shows, dissect them, and just take all these little pieces of like purses, for instance, and pile them together, kind of getting all the same purses into one category and moving on from there. Let's just get started because I hate long intros, and this is pretty long intro for me. As well as the runway shows, I do tend to check out like the Vogue and other platforms to double check what they think is trendy, and one of their top trends was the red bag. So I was like, oh, okay. Sure, I'll just collect all of them and see just how much of a red bag we have. I feel like a red bag is very classical. I don't think it's really much a trend, but the color red was very popular on the runways, which I feel like it is all the time. So I don't know. We see them in so many shows like Alexander McQueen. We also see that in Balmain having kind of that Baguette handbag or like super oversized bags as well. We also see this in Chanel, like very fire red engine, kind of a red color. We also see this in Coach and like in some smaller brands as well. I feel like red is such a very safe color to get. I know it's a pop of color, yes it is, but I feel like it cannot be out of style in any case, because like a red lipstick, you know, it's like you cannot have a season without it. And I feel like once it gets an anti-trend, like I've never seen this being an anti-trend of having a red lipstick, you know what I mean? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't been around for too long. Maybe there was a part where red lipstick was an anti-trend, but anyways, I digress. We have these red bags, sometimes statement bags, sometimes it's part of a red ensemble or like a different color ensemble. Maybe it is part of a color combination, but having that red there, like for instance, Stella McCartney right here has the all red outfit with a red bag, or like just red accents throughout the outfit. We also see this in Valentino having a few different types of bags, but all in red. Anyways, if you don't like the color red, don't worry, we have a plenty more of different bright colors for bags like we see right now. Very bright green ones, Barbie pink. We are having the Barbie pink moment, you guys. And I feel like it's a big, like, not fab, but a very short trend that is just too hard. It's hitting people too hard, and I feel like it's gonna go away just as fast. So unless pink is your most favorite color, then don't go for it, okay guys? Well, that's just in my opinion. Anyways, we have more bags like in really bright green, in Bottega Veneta. We also see this color in some other shows. I quite like this color. I feel like it had its moment and it's still kind of riding the wave without being overly over the top like the pink is. So I feel like if you have those bags at home, continue wearing them. We also see some of like a deeper colors in Dior, like this ruby and like emerald colors. We also see some blues in there as well. So basically whatever is your favorite color, go for it in a bag format. And it doesn't matter if it's your color or not, because it's far away from your face and you will just enjoy seeing this color, and you can pair it with whatever color works for your skin tone and your color. Okay, you guys, I had a comment saying that I was racist for saying that not every skin tone can wear certain colors. Okay, so what I mean by that is whatever color skin you have, doesn't matter if you're lighter or darker, you can be either cooler or warmer. Okay, so I was trying to explain to this viewer and they're just not having it. And I'm sorry, English is not my first language, you guys. Anyways, so we also see these bags being more in a pastel colors. We see them like in so many different varieties, from like sporty to more casual to more like dressy even. We see a bunch of coral ones, so like a coral kind of peachy color was talked about in Pantone as being the color of the year for 2024. So maybe we'll see more of that in the kind of like a spring summer. We'll see how it goes, but we do still see some of those in the fall winter, like in Versace and Balmain, I believe, had some of them as well. So you know what, you guys, as you can see, so many different colors. Go for whichever one you prefer. Okay, next one, handbags. Majority of the bags were kind of a handheld, kind of a bag situation. Most of the runway shows were featured with this kind of a smaller handle. Maybe they do have attached versions for the shoulder wearers out there, but I am not the biggest fan of the bags that you need to hold to like use. I'm a talker with my hands. I need my hands free. I remember I had a bag like that where I needed to wear it by holding it all the time, or I would put it and bend my elbow, and I had so many guys just like fist pump me just because I was walking around and like doing this, you know what I mean? And like I was like, hello. Anyways, I like my hands free. I want them to be useful to me. So this trend is not my favorite, but it is very classical, and like, who am I to judge? I do have a few bags that are like that. So anyways, and sometimes these bags had really interesting handles. Some just were like really classical. Each house basically has their own bag that they do, or like multiple of them. And just for some reason, this time around, there were lots and lots and lots of these handheld ones. Yes. Like in Maison Margiela, it had more kind of like a bowling bag where one would carry a bowling ball. We also see Miu Miu having a lot of this. So that's what I mean by like having a fist and then somebody, you know, bumping my fist. Anyways, so that's how I would walk around all the time. They're kind of on a softer slash structured format, which is really cool for like any business goers. This Prada bag right here is very usable. Like I can see that being very popular. But yeah, most of these bags are more structured, and I feel like structured bags are so much more timely, or like will last you longer because they're so classical, and it's not like they're gonna go out of style at all, in my opinion. Let's move on to clutches. Yes, we do see a lot more clutch formats on the runways. That's another bag that you need to have your hands to wear them around. I don't know. I do like the Fendi one with a big F format. I also like the ones in Maison Margiela having kind of like a little hand in there, like a little thumb. It's a cool idea, cool look. Miu Miu had a lot of them, and kind of going from like a very small size to medium size for clutches. Kind of like those pierogi ones, but more structured for sure, having like a zipper in there and kind of looking like a makeup bag. Y Project having that baguette / accordion clutch. It's very interesting. Anyways, let's move on to extra large bags. I feel like I'm talking about them every single season. Yes, they're here, like super oversized totes, like in Balmain, various colors. I guess they're very like user-friendly when you're going shopping, and instead of having like store bags, you can just have that. Or if you're going somewhere for a weekend, it's a great bag. But like other than that, what are you carrying in there every day? Like I might carry textbooks to college, but you know, I feel like that would be like super heavy and it would just stretch out everything. So maybe not. I'm not the biggest fan of these crazy oversized bags, mainly because I always want to appear taller, and oversized bags kind of like make you look smaller all the time. It is a fun way of like playing around with difference in proportion, sure, but like I'm just thinking back to the Y2K era and Olsen twins, and they would carry these crazy oversized bags and they would look like they're so tiny, like they're children. I don't know, I guess it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and here we go. So if you love these bags, go ahead, wear them. I'm not saying anything bad about them. Just for myself, it's not the best, and I would lose everything in there. Maybe if it's like very organized, compartmentalized bags, then I'm okay with it. But if it's just like one single bag whole, then I'm like, will I ever find that chapstick? I don't think so. And I'm pretty bad with like keeping all the receipts and stuff, so it will be just filled with a bunch of little pieces of paper, napkins, and maybe bathing suit in there somewhere too. We do see some more like a smaller version, but still pretty big ones, like around the shoulder, or just kind of like a tote bag. We also see Raf Simons having kind of a tail to the bag. I don't know how great that is. Maybe it's great for mopping the floors around the house, but I don't want to do that on the street. You know what I mean? Anyways, let's move on to metal and shine. So metallic materials, like shiny materials, crystallized materials, something that looks like a crow would love it. I love it too. I feel like having a statement bag in that texture is really fun, really cool idea, and I really love a statement bag. Doesn't matter like if it's a color pop or if it's in this texture of really bright, colorful, sparkly, shiny, whatever goes. So we do see both gold and silvers on the runways. This is usually kind of like relevant to you, like how much do you like the color? Maybe one suits your skin tone better than the other. Like cooler tones would have the silver and warmer tones will have the gold, but we do see mixture of those two as well. As I mentioned in the trend report about textures, we do see these sparkly, shiny materials in clothing as well, so it just makes sense to have them in a bag format. Like we have a soup can in Jean Paul Gaultier. We have these crystallized bags in Y Project. We have them going on into GCDS. Of course, the Versace Dua Lipa collab also had these kind of a Y2K inspired, either like a pink metallic one, very Barbie-esque, or a crystallized pink crescent bag as well, and we'll talk about the crescent a little bit later. Anyways, let's move on to buckles. So moving on to that shine, we have like this shininess but in more of a grungy way, maybe having like these spikes on the bag or more buckles on the bag, like we did see in the very trendy Balenciaga bag that kind of went out of style because of their controversial advertisement. I think everybody was like, yeah, these bags, which I hated, by the way. But then everybody's like, oh, like I no longer like it because they're doing weird stuff with their advertisement. But we do see a continuation of this with having like more buckles on it and continuation into chains as well. So we did see the rise of the chain in the past maybe like 5 years for it being like very chunky chains, right? Like super crazy big chains, either on necks or on bags, shoes, whatever. This time we do have them on kind of a medium level, like not something crazy oversized like we've seen before, but they're still there. Maybe they're part of an accessory on the bag. Maybe like here it's a net made out of chains. We also see it kind of like being an additional handle, so maybe you can substitute one handle for another with maybe it's like a longer handle. We do see these chains being put on the bags, like in Gucci right here. They're kind of there for both accessory and the useful purposes. And a chain as a strap is like such a classical thing. Sometimes it's an actual like a little detail, like in Stella McCartney here, having like that chain going all the way around and being part of the handle as well as just being on the bag itself. We also see this in Valentino, just a countless number of bags, honestly. Victoria Beckham also having that kind of like a wrist strap on a clutch bag. Yeah, a lot of chains. I do like a little chain. I feel like it's very classy. If you're enjoying this content so far, please consider to like this video, maybe leave me a nice little comment. And if you're not already, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow, and this season will tell me if I should continue doing this or not. And every little like, comment, maybe even share helps a lot. Thank you. But let's move on to soft and floppy. So soft and floppy, something that I would describe that pierogi bag from Bottega Veneta. But we do see this continuation into maybe a little bit more of a structure in there, maybe having a handle in other shows, but still having that floppy kind of a design, maybe kind of more of a pillow-esque even. In Balenciaga, having kind of those hourglass bags but more floppy. Bottega Veneta having a handle bags, but once again they're flopping over. They're not super structured. They're kind of very chill. This style can be kind of worn with anything. Mostly you can take your outfit and make it more casual with these. It's really hard to make them look more classy, if you know what I mean. Like if your outfits are very put together, maybe like a blazer with a high-rise pants or trousers, wearing that will make you seem a little bit laid back, chilled, maybe more approachable. If you're wearing kind of a very sporty, lazy knit sweater, maybe kind of ripped denim, sneakers, and this, it will just give you, like, once again, just continuation of that very cool, chilled outfit, but it will just continue into that era, right? So I, for myself, prefer to have it the more structured bags. That way, when I look like a slob, the bag is like saying people like, hey, this is a fashion choice. I'm not like that all the time, but I am. Anyways, so we have these sloppy, very like kind of a malleable bags, I would even say. Some of them were even having wrinkles in them, something like of a hobo bag. Again here, Stella McCartney having it very floppy and the chain, so two trends in one. And their sizes are always different. Whatever goes with your style, that's what you go for. Like if you like this, go ahead. It's been around for a few seasons now, so I feel like it's safe to invest in, but I just won't. And that's my personal opinion, and that's okay. In Victoria Beckham, we have more structured bags, but because they're made out of like this softer leather, they kind of look like they're slouching and they're not super structured, and that would actually signify a lot about like how the bag is gonna last you for a longer time. So it will have like natural wear, just because if you put it down on the shelf, it's just gonna collapse under its own weight, right? So you would probably need to hang it or something along the line so it won't crease as much. I don't know if it's my thing. Like I just like to put it there and let it be. Maybe put a little bit of a dust bag situation just so it's not gonna get dusty. Circular bags. There weren't too many, but Vogue did mention them, so I decided to just to get whatever I've seen on the runways, which were basically kind of like more of an egg-shaped bags, maybe from Bottega Veneta, Diesel, and there was like one or two more. Anyways, bucket bags. Okay, so many bucket bags, and this is definitely like also kind of into that slouchy era for some, but others were very structured bags with maybe like a little bit of a dust bag inside just to hide your little personal items, which is very nice to do. Here's a story. It's more like about wide leg pants, but I'll just talk about it anyways. So I have this bucket bag. It's open back bucket bag, kind of like a straw bag, I would say. So I was walking and I needed to cross the road, and I was wearing like a palazzo pant, and I see that I have 5 seconds to cross the road still, so I was like, I don't want to wait, I'm just gonna run for it. So I start running and my foot gets caught in one of the pant legs, and I just fall and roll onto the road, and of course everything from my bags just falls and flies everywhere. And I'm not crying, but I was like so mad that I couldn't cry. And there was like a huge line of cars waiting for me and bus full of people watching me scramble and get all of my belongings back into that bucket bag. So if only I had that little bit of an extra, like a dust bag or like a drawstring bag that would hold everything in, I would just maybe need to pick that one thing up and continue walking and bleeding. Yeah, it was an embarrassing moment, but here you go. It's a really good lesson for us all. Anyways, also like there's so many things that I just don't want people to see in my bag, like the receipts I mentioned, just how messy my bag is. And yeah, sometimes like it's feminine products, it's like nobody needs to know. Another horrible story about bags and feminine products. I was in Vegas, it was my honeymoon, and yeah, it was my period as well. And I was just walking around, going to like a little shop, and a lady comes in and she's like, you know that your tampon is sticking out of your bag, miss? And I'm like all red in the face, and it's like a maxi tampon. Anyways, okay, so next one, let's just move on. Next one are the floral trends. Okay, so I've spoken about the floral trends both in the pattern video as well as in the texture video. Texture, we have 3D flowers. So on bags, we just seen some prints, and now we're seeing maybe the 3D florals on the bags. Maybe they're like leather cutouts, maybe they're from fabric, maybe they're like crystal flowers on the bags. So whenever we see a trend happening somewhere, it usually continues into accessories as well. Like we had so many of those choker necklaces with the flower in there. So it's just a very, very natural continuation of the trend moving into the accessories. I would only watch out for like what I'm wearing with that, because if you're wearing like a silky dress, you might get some of the flowers caught onto the dress and just ruin it, get some snags in there, or tights. That's another big issue with tights. But other than that, I feel like they're super cool, interesting ways of creating more interest into your wardrobe with a little bit of a statement bag with a little bit of flowers. And I feel like you can find that in vintage shops as well, so that's cool too. Moving on to the kind of a boho slash saddle slash crescent bags that we've seen, kind of a very Y2K trends, and kind of having the bottom of the bag maybe circular, or the handle making like a little bit of a circle in there as well. So very, very popular. Very popular. I feel like this is maybe like a third or fourth season that it's just being used. Mainly, in my opinion, it's because of the Y2K trends, because we are just going from the pandemic. We're kind of associating with our childhood of like a feeling of safety, that we are going back to this style of the Y2K. And I don't know. For the bags, I'm okay with it. For the clothing, I'm not quite sure. Anyways, we do see kind of like very different takes on it as well. So some of them are more classy, some of them are more girly, and some of them are just cool looking and intense. And you just figure out what kind of style suits you best. And I do keep all of the designer names in the clips, so if you ever like the aesthetic of the show, the clips that you're seeing, then you can just go ahead and find the entire show and maybe watch it, maybe find out more about the designer and move on from there. If I'm only going to talk about what I like, we're only going to talk about oversized blazers. But I just want everybody to make up their own mind, because designers have an idea of what they see people wearing, and then whichever comes popular, that's just the choice of the masses, or whatever like the it person liked, I guess. But anyways, I wanted to make sure to mention the Miu Miu bag. It kind of has that kind of a 3D, not a quilting, but very close to it, like a crinkle effect on the bag. It's very popular. Like, keep your eye on it. Like, most of the it girls have it. Yes. The Versace bags, also like a crescent one with the zippers, very looking a lot like the Balenciaga bag that I mentioned, but is much more tame, and I much prefer that one. Totes. Totes are here. They're kind of always here. They're really, really good. Like, I prefer totes to the oversized bag trend because they're more manageable. They're way more wearable, and like if you're invest into it, I'm sure it will take you like to your, I want to say death, but that just sounded way too dark. But will live alongside you, let's just say, for a very long time. I know that I need to invest into one of these for sure, because I'm just like walking around with my straw bag to school, and I don't think it's gonna survive for too much longer. But anyways, baguettes. So we've seen the baguette being very trendy last season for sure, and we still see it today. We kind of see it in a variety of colors. We see it in many shows, and it being kind of like almost a clutch or maybe over the shoulder bag in a longer format. Of course, Fendi is very popular for it, but we do see it also like in Gucci in the revived horse bit clutch from the Tom Ford era, kind of having that elongated shape. You can see it right here. That's the one. We also see it being a little bit more modern, kind of just like simple shapes. Valentino also had a few of them presented, yeah, very baguette-esque. So baguette is the bread, right? The same kind of a shape, and it's meant to be worn like kind of underneath the arm like a baguette. So that's where the name is from. Oh, and a very interesting bag from Bottega Veneta, kind of a croissant baguette thing. Furries. Okay, so furry bags, they're still here, not to the extent that we've seen in the previous season. Maybe they're having like a little bit of a toning down of the furriness. Like, for instance, here in Burberry, we have kind of like a shearling effect on the bags where it's not entirely furry, but we still see furry bags anyways. So we have the longer fur-ishness, or we have a smaller one, like a teddy bear kind of fur, like we see in Stella McCartney, as well as in Dress Van Noten. We also see a lot of it in D squared, either having like a fuzzy bag or having like a little tail detail on the bag as well. We see it in off-white and in low eve, so a lot of them. But I don't know, I really don't like a full fuzzy bag. I know it's really cool idea, it gives like an extra texture to the outfit, which is amazing, and I feel like it's really fun to hold and touch. But if it doesn't have a nice clean bottom where you place it somewhere, like maybe you're in the middle of a street and you need to put it down on the ground, you know, like it's gonna pick up everything. Or if you're in a bathroom and you don't have like a hook to put it on, are you supposed to hold it? Even they're talking about like when you flush, all the poop particles are in the air, so they're just gonna land on there, and like how are you supposed to clean it? Anyways, I like the idea of the bag, but I just don't like the execution. That's what I mean, like the livability. That's not a word. Anyways, so next one up are the Crock and snake skins. I've talked about them in the texture report, where we've seen like these super texturized outerwear, maybe like coats, or maybe sometimes even blouses with that, but like in a print format. But we see so many Crock or snake skin bags. They don't have to be a real one, you know, they can be vegan. I feel like this texture is very classic. It will last you a lifetime. Just think about a classic shape and a classic bag like this. I feel like all of the representation that I'm giving you right now are very classic ones. I would prefer them being in a more real colors, like maybe browns. I know there's no black alligators, you guys, but that's more classy, you know. It's not like the ones that we've seen a few years back where it's neon Crock or snake skin. It's very muted. It's just there for texture. It's there for interest. We see a lot of it in Versace, like a lot. And we also see this in Victoria Beckham, as well as Michael Kors and Stella McCartney, and many, many more shows. As I talked about the more structured bags, here we go. We have more like a box kind of bags. Of course, Louis Vuitton would have plenty of those, as their whole history is surrounded around the luggage industry, so it's only makes sense to have a miniature version of that. We also see this in Versace, as well as in Elie Saab, kind of like smaller, almost a clutch format in Dolce Gabbana. Diesel having kind of a Baguette moment as well. We also see some plastic bags, maybe some transparent ones, not too much of those though. And finally, a few fringe bags. Not too many, just enough. I feel like there is enough fringe on the runways, and it was just kind of having that echo into the bags, but not too many. I wouldn't say it's a major trend. It was just there, and I'm just showing you what it is. Another one is multi-bagging, and we see this in a few runways, not quite the same amount as we've seen the last season, but it's completely up to you. Like, do you feel like you need to have multiple bags? I feel like it might be a smart thing to do, having one little bag with all your necessary things like your keys, your wallet, your cell phone, right? And then if you need a bigger one for maybe your coat, umbrella, laptop, and etc., then you don't need to worry about transferring everything from one bag to another, back and forth, maybe forgetting something, and you know, that's all a catastrophe. But if you have a few of them, like 2 bags, and they kind of match in style, why not? Anyways, you guys, this completes the overview of what bags were on the runway. Hopefully you kind of have a better idea of what to look out for vintage shopping, or what to just get out of your closet and how to style it. I feel like it's just up to you and what your personal needs are. Like, for instance, for me, I just want something structured because I'm kind of a slob as a person. Like, I'm just like all over the place, so I just need a little bit of structure in my life, and that's gonna be okay. Somebody else might want less structure for their super organized life, and that's completely okay. Go for it. You do you, and I'll do me, I guess. I really appreciate that you're still here with me watching this video. This helps me out a lot. If you like the video, I encourage you to like it, maybe subscribe if you're not already, and leave me a nice little comment down below, just because your interaction with my video helps the YouTube understand that my video is worth putting out there and showing it to the rest of the world. So if you're thinking, oh, my one like won't do anything, it actually will. It actually will. So you better go do it. If you would like to see how I style myself from day to day, I encourage you to check out my Instagram page. It's right here somewhere. If you reach out to me there, maybe asking about a certain piece of item that you don't know how to style, I will just give you my personal opinion on like how I would do it, because I don't really know your style. Maybe we'll like get into it later. Anyways, next video is gonna be about the shoes. Right after this, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna go and start doing it. Yeah. Hope you're gonna have the amazing rest of the day, and yeah, stay classy. Bye.